YouTube. Back with another video, another update. Had a little extra time on my hands, still the same morning. As you can see now, it's 03:31. I have about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. Just say 2.5 hours. I'm gonna take the shortest route, but I always like to give myself a cushion for timing, so I'm just gonna say 2.5 hours to my destination. Here talking about, actually I was putting my address in, and as you can see, I'm going down to very tip of Alabama, right by the Florida line, right by the Gulf. Like I said, I'll be on the beach delivering this load. But I'm making this video. As you can see, I still got my hood pulled. But get out there and close in and check my lights and get out of here. But I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about this GPS system that Boyd Brothers uses. It's called the RAND McNALLY. It's a pretty good system. I have a few pros and cons about it. I mean, it does get you to your destination, but a lot of the times, not a lot of, but sometimes it's not exactly where you need to be. So you have, I mean, you'll be very, very close. Sometimes you can look up and see, oh, that's where I'm supposed to be. Sometimes it'll stop you a little short of your destination. I put it like that. And sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, it's accurate. I like the routes that it takes. It keeps you off of those narrow roads, keeps you off of any it doesn't take the back roads a lot. Sometimes it does. It'll cut you through some towns to try to get the shortest distance. But a lot of times that doesn't work out for you in time-wise, because when you get in these little small towns and cities, they have a lot of traffic lights. The traffic is congested depending on the time of day, and it actually slows you down. So I try to stay on the main highways, like the state roads and the interstates. I try to stay on those roads, but I mean, you're gonna have to get off on some of these kind of roads, especially with flatbedding, to get to your actual delivery point. But for the most part, I try to stay on the main interstate and the main state highways. And another thing about the RAND McNALLY is you have to be careful, because sometimes it'll I don't know if it's just this version that Boyd has, or is it just overall, but it will freeze up and it'll go out on you. And as you can see, this little I guess it's like the service bar or whatever. Sometimes it'll this little triangle looking icon, if it gets a circle with the exit with a line across it, it's not getting a signal. And then sometimes it'll cut off and reboot itself, or you'll have to stop, pull over, reboot it. Sometimes you have to do it several times to get it back working, because Boyd tracks you by this GPS. And if it's not working, they don't know where you are, or your dispatcher can't tell where you are. And or if you need driver support and they're trying to send somebody to service your truck, such as a tire or anything maintenance wise, they can't tell where you are if you don't have the GPS signal. And but I do recommend getting you another form of GPS, but make sure it's for trucking. Some people use the I think it's called a Garmin. I use Trucker Path. I have the paid version of Trucker Path on my phone, and it works pretty good. And I like the Trucker Path because this one doesn't give you like the RAND McNALLY gives you turn by turn direction, but on the Trucker's Path I can actually see the route. I can see the traffic lights. I can see the actual streets. I can see on the RAND McNALLY, it shows, on the Trucker Path, it shows me when I'm coming up, I can already see ahead of time the streets that are that have truck restrictions on them and things of that nature. But with the Trucker's Path also, you have to be careful. Sometimes it'll take you. Trucker Paths like to go down the rural roads a lot of times, and it'll cut you through neighborhoods and things like that. So sometimes you got to just use your own discretion when you're using it. So I use both of them simultaneously. I have both of my GPS running, and whichever way I feel like, sometimes I might pull up to a road and and the Trucker's Path is telling me to turn down this particular road, but I'll stop and look. I'll be like, no, I'm not going down there, and I'll just keep following the RAND. So you have to use your own judgment on which roads you want to take. Because I had one instance where the RAND wanted me to turn down a particular road, and it had a very high clearance. And you have to pay attention to the signs. It wasn't a truck restricted road, but it had very high railroad crossing. So most of the time a flatbed, because it's higher off the ground than a step deck and especially like a RGM, but this particular road, the sign said that any semi truck that had that was over, I think it said 27 feet, would get stuck on this particular road. And if you got stuck, it was an automatic $1,000 fine. So before I almost started to turn, but when I got there, I seen that I read that sign, and then I sat up, picked myself up off the seat a little bit to look down. You could see the railroad track, and it was very high, but what the problem was, it was a steep decline on the other side of the track, which was going to cause your trailer to possibly get stuck on the track. So I had to keep going, and it routed me a different way, but I finally made it to my destination. But these are the type of things you gotta look for when you're navigating your way out on the road with this trucking thing. So you have to be careful, man. And like I say, read the road signs, pay attention to your GPS, try to plan ahead. Another thing I like about the Trucker's Path is that I can get a visual of where I'm delivering at. I can zoom in and see the facility, and a lot of times I can see if I got parking there. I can see about where I need to enter it. I can see where they're staging the material at. Just like where I'm delivering today, I pulled it up. I see it's a vacant lot is what it's showing on the Trucker's Path GPS, but it's right by the beach, and it looked like it's right on a main, like a strip. So that's why I parked up here early, because I honestly don't believe I would have had anywhere to park. Maybe if the construction site doesn't have a gate up, a lot of them do have a gate up because they have equipment and material in there to keep people from going and stealing anything or taking anything or tampering around with anything. And I didn't want to get out there and have to turn around, try to find somewhere to come back to. So I parked up here. Like I say, I'm about, one say 2 hours and 14 minutes, one say 2 hours and 33 minutes. Both have the same mileage. As you can see, it's 105 miles on both routes. One is just longer. Some of this green route is probably on back roads taking me through a little city or something. But I'm gonna take the blue route for the 2 hours and 15 minutes. Like I said, my appointment is at 7. So I'm gonna get ready to leave here in a little while once I finish up my pre-trip. It's now 3:41. Like I said, I like to get up early, get my day started early if it's possible. So it don't work out like that all the time. Sometimes I have to drive a little bit over until the night if I want to get closer to my delivery point. But I've been trying, like last week and this week, I'm trying to be parked up by 3 o'clock, between 3 and 4, possibly at 2 o'clock if I could manage it. Because like I said, I don't like looking for parking, and unless, if I'm gonna park up, I wanna try to park up early if I'm coming to a truck stop, because parking gets taken up early. But we just had a time spring forward for the springtime, so the days are gonna be longer. So I'm gonna see how that plays out with my timing, and a lot determines too if I call the shipper. A lot of times you call the shipper and ask them, is there somewhere to park there? Or they'll be like, yeah, or maybe they'll tell you, well, you can park in front of our gate until we get there in the morning. It might not necessarily be truck parking, but there's enough room for you to park there on site until they come open up. And that's the way you can save time on your clock for the next day. But yeah, just a quick video on that. Like, share, subscribe. Any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comment section. I try to respond to all comments. Had a couple guys reach out to me on my email. If you want my email, just shoot me a comment. We can exchange information, or we can just conversate over the email, and I can answer your questions. If anybody want to put me down for reference, a referral, I mean, with Boyd Brothers, just hit me up. I'll give you my driver code, and I'm gonna try to figure out how I can get it posted, get my driver code posted on the video in the comments or in the description, some of that nature. But if you need my driver code for referral, I would appreciate it. But I'm gonna get out here and get my hood closed down, check my lights, get my mind together, and get ready to start my trip. So y'all have a blessed day. I'll catch you up on the next video.